Frogs. Frogs can live both on land and in fresh water and belong to class Amphibia or phylum Chordata. The most common species of frog found in India is Rana tigrina. They do not have constant body temperature, that is, their body temperature varies with the temperature of the environment. Such animals are called cold blooded or poikilotherms. You might also have noticed changes in the color of the frogs while they are in grasses and on dry land. They have the ability to change the color to hide them from their enemies. This is called camouflage. This protective coloration is called mimicry. You may also know that frogs are not seen during peak summer and winter. During this period, they take shelter in deep burrows to protect them from extreme heat and cold. This is known as summer sleep or aestivation and winter sleep or hibernation, respectively. Morphology. Have you ever touched the skin of frog? The skin is smooth and slippery due to presence of mucus. The skin is always maintained in a moist condition. The color of dorsal side of body is generally olive green with dark irregular spots. On the ventral side, the skin is uniformly pale yellow. The frog never drinks water but absorbs it through the skin. Body of a frog is divisible into head and trunk. A neck and tail are absent. Above the mouth, a pair of nostrils is present. Eyes are bulged and covered by a nictitating membrane that protects them while in water. On either side of the eyes, a membranous tympanum or the ear receives sound signals. The forelimbs and the hind limbs help in swimming, walking, leaping, and burrowing. The hind limbs end in 5 digits and they are larger and muscular than the forelimbs that end in 4 digits. Feet have webbed digits that help in swimming. Frogs exhibit sexual dimorphism. Male frogs can be distinguished by the presence of sound-producing vocal sacs and also a copulatory pad on the first digit of the forelimbs, which are absent in female frogs. Anatomy. The body cavity of frogs accommodate different organ systems such as digestive, circulatory, respiratory, nervous, excretory, and reproductive systems with well-developed structures and functions. The digestive system consists of alimentary canal and digestive glands. The alimentary canal is short because frogs are carnivores and hence the length of intestine is reduced. The mouth opens into the buccal cavity that leads to the esophagus through pharynx. Esophagus is a short tube that opens into the stomach, which in turn continues as the intestine, rectum, and finally opens outside the cloaca. Liver secretes bile that is stored in the gallbladder. Pancreas, a digestive gland, produces pancreatic juice containing digestive enzymes. Food is captured by the bilobed tongue. Digestion of food takes place by the action of HCl and gastric juices secreted from the walls of the stomach. Partially digested food called chyme is passed from stomach to the first part of the small intestine, which is the duodenum. The duodenum receives the bile from the bladder and pancreatic juices from the pancreas through a common bile duct. Bile emulsifies fat and pancreatic juices digest carbohydrates and proteins. Final digestion takes place in the intestine. Digested food is absorbed by the numerous finger-like folds in the inner walls of intestine called villi and microvilli. The undigested solid waste moves from the rectum and passes out through cloaca. Frogs respire on land and in the water by 2 different methods. In water, skin acts as aquatic respiratory organ, which is also called the cutaneous respiration. Dissolved oxygen in water is exchanged through the skin by diffusion. On land, the buccal cavity, skin, and lungs act as the respiratory organs. The respiration by lungs is called pulmonary respiration. The lungs are a pair of elongated, pink-colored sac-like structures present in the upper part of the trunk region, which is the thorax. Air enters through the nostrils into the buccal cavity and then to the lungs. During aestivation and hibernation, gaseous exchange takes place through skin. The vascular system of frog is well-developed closed type. frogs have a lymphatic system also. The blood vascular system involves heart, blood vessels, and blood. The lymphatic system consists of lymph channels, and lymph nodes. Heart is a muscular structure situated in the upper part of the body cavity. It has three chambers containing two atria and one ventricle and is covered by a membrane called pericardium. A triangular structure called sinus venosus joins the right atrium. It receives blood through the major veins called the vena cava. The ventral opens into a sac-like conus arteriosus into the ventral side of the heart. The blood from the heart is carried to all parts of the body by the arteries, which is the atrial system. The veins collect blood from different parts of the body to the heart and from the venous system. Special venous connections between liver and intestine as well as the kidney and lower parts of the body are present in frogs. The former is called the hepatic portal system and the latter is called the renal portal system. The blood is composed of plasma and cells. The blood cells are RBC or the red blood cells or erythrocytes, WBC, white blood cells or leukocytes, and platelets. RBCs are nucleated and contain red-colored pigment, namely hemoglobin. The lymph is different from blood. It lacks few proteins and RBCs. The blood carries nutrients, gases, and water to the respective sites during the circulation. The circulation of blood is achieved by the pumping action of the muscular heart. The elimination of nitrogenous waste is carried out by well-developed excretory system. The excretory system consists of a pair of kidneys, ureters, cloaca, and urinary bladder. These are compact, dark red and bean-like structures situated a little posteriorly in the body cavity on both sides of vertebral column. Each kidney is composed of several structures and functional units called uniferous tubules or nephrons. Two ureters emerge from the kidneys in the male frogs. The ureters act as urogenital duct which opens into the cloaca. In females, the ureters and oviduct open separately in the cloaca. The thin-walled urinary bladder is present ventral to the rectum which also opens in the cloaca. The frog excretes urea and thus is a ureotelic animal. Excretory waste are carried by blood into kidney where it is separated and excreted. The system for control and coordination is highly evolved in the frog. It includes both neural system and endocrine glands. The chemical coordination of various organs of the body is achieved by hormones which are secreted by the endocrine glands. The prominent endocrine glands found in frogs are pituitary, thyroid, parathyroid, thymus, penile body, pancreatic islets, adrenals, and gonads. The nervous system is organized into a central nervous system which consists of the brain and spinal cord, a peripheral nervous system consisting of the cranial and the spinal nerves, and an autonomic nervous system which consists of the sympathetic and parasympathetic. There are 10 pairs of cranial nerves arising from the brain. Brain is enclosed in a bony structure called the brain box or the cranium. The brain is divided into forebrain, midbrain, and hindbrain. Forebrain includes olfactory nerves, paired cerebral hemisphere, and unpaired diencephalon. The midbrain is characterized by a pair of optic lobes. Hindbrain consists of cerebellum and medulla oblongata. The medulla oblongata passes out through the foramen magnum and continues into spinal cord, which is enclosed in the vertebral column. Frogs have different types of sensory organs, namely organ of touch, sensory papillae, taste buds, smell, nasal epithelium, vision, eye, and hearing, tympanum with internal ears. Out of these, eyes and internal ears are well-organized structure and the rest are cellular aggregations around nerve endings. Eyes in a frog are a pair of spherical structures situated in the orbit in skull. These are simple eyes possessing only one unit. External ears is absent in frogs and only tympanum can be seen externally. The ear is an organ of hearing as well as balancing, which is also for equilibrium. Frogs have well-organized male and female reproductive systems. Male reproductive organs consist of a pair of yellowish ovoid testes, which are found tethered to the upper part of kidneys by a double fold of peritoneum called Mesorchium. Vasa efferentia are 10 to 12 in number that arises from testes. They enter the kidneys on their side and open to Bidder's canal. Finally, it communicates with the genital duct that comes out of the kidneys and opens into the cloaca. The cloaca is a small median chamber that is used to pass fecal matter, urine, and sperms to the exterior. The female reproductive organs include a pair of ovaries. The ovaries are situated near kidney and there is no functional connection with kidneys. A pair of oviducts arising from the ovaries open into the cloaca separately. A mature female can lay 2,500 to 3,000 ova at a time. Fertilization is external and takes place in water. Development involves a larval stage called tadpole. Tadpole undergoes metamorphosis to form the adult. Frogs are beneficial for mankind because they eat insects and protect the crop. Frogs maintain ecological balance because these serves as an important link of food chain and food web in the ecosystem. In some countries, muscular eggs of frog are used as food by man. Thank you so much for listening to NEET Biology Readings. Please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe.